So are we about to start a trending market? For me, something has to happen before I get turbo bullish on crypto again. I have been pretty bearish of late, but I have been buying key levels. I am exposed to the market. I have made some money, which is good. But this week, as you can see on the screen, there's still a lot of things to unpack. Volatility could be coming our way. CPI data, Federal Reserve talking, US housing. Yeah, we'll see what the damage is. Obviously as well, initial jobless claims, but also Japan CPI. We're expecting a bit of a push from Japan at some point yesterday with their policy announcement. It actually remained unchanged, so interesting. So let's see how that kind of does its thing. Now, I want to talk about the market in more detail, but first, if you are new around here, I do education. If you are struggling, check out these courses. These are getting released on the 1st of February. They are incredibly cheap. The sales pages are coming soon, so you'll see more of me promoting it because it is my company at the end of the day. And it is pretty awesome stuff. Probably the best I've ever did. Right, moving on to the obvious. S&P 500 first. Now, let me explain one thing. This is literally feeling, in my opinion, like it's on a little bit of an eggshell. It feels like it's not quite sure what to do yet. We've pushed up to the upside of the previous swing, and we are still nestled on this 618 levels. We're struggling to get above this. Even this morning, looking at the futures charts, we've not really moved much, right? So it's very much what's going to happen next. If this rejects, expect crypto to do the same thing. Now, again, talking about the traditional markets a little bit here before I go into the whole entire market kind of situation. Microsoft have just announced they're doing another 11,000 job cut, right? 5% of their workforce is getting removed. So again, makes you wonder, why are people removing their staff numbers? Makes you wonder. But let's talk about the crypto market. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Let's keep this super simple. We are doing a nice little run to the upside. We're on the weekly time frame here. Big engulfing boom candle, right? For me to get bullish, as I alluded to, and as the title says, it needs to pull back. And then it hopefully finds demand, and then hopefully goes higher. I know I'm using the word hopefully because that is how analysis is. A lot of people are like, oh, you sit on the fence. Well, ultimately, I don't want to be turbo bullish. I don't want to be turbo bearish. I want to give you level-headed bullish and bearish scenarios. Let's explain in a little bit more detail so you are following correctly. This is currently the top of what said move right now, right? We tried to go a little bit higher, we've rejected, and we've pulled back into this level of where we have been. When we look at the lowerish time frames, it looks a bit like a rising wedge which could just go whoomph, right? Yeah. Keep an eye on that. But let's talk about the obvious. For me to get turbo bullish, we need to pull back and gain more liquidity. That liquidity could then send us higher. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm hoping for. I have sold a little bit of my bags, not much, but I have repurchased, or not yet, but my orders are lower. If they get hit, I will get the same amount of crypto that I had and also some extra stables. If you want to know why I do this, and also my Patreon, I have a journal. I explain why I do it in my methodology. So if you want to learn how I do things as a journal for accountability, link below. It's cheap, don't worry. It's not a paid group, by the way. It's just an accountability journal. I put it behind a paywall so people don't abuse me and make me cry on social media. It's what it is. Moving on. So this area, interesting. So if you look back at the timescale of what crypto has been doing, these areas here, around 18k levels, 19k levels, I think will have demand if we get there. A lot of people are getting very greedy. I've just tweeted about it, saying that people are getting greedy. They're walking into a greedy situation. Pay yourselves. A lot of people do ask me, well, what's it like being full-time in crypto? Well, you got to pay yourself first. Then you start being able to do other things in your life to be able to build stuff, right? You've got to have wealth to continue the game. The idea is to have capital and keep capital for as long as you possibly can. That's the game. If you are not taking profit and then you are like, say if you bought here, and let's just say the worst case scenario happens and we reject here and we go into a huge deviation, we just go right back into where you started. you've not paid yourself, you've not got any money. Well, that's a bit of a waste. It's like building the wall and not getting paid. It's gonna suck, right? So you've got to pay yourself at some point. So for me, I'm expecting a pullback at some point. Whether we go a little bit higher first and pull back or not, I don't know. But for me, this has to pull back. We are on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 big giga candles, and then obviously a bit of a mixed bag up here. So if we're looking at the obvious here, there's been a lot of green candles. Now, for me, what I'm expecting, this push to the upside could only come if we go down. I think we're going to get very, very thin up here very, very soon. There will be a lot of liquidations up here, potential shorts as well, if it does push higher. However, they will also get thinner and thinner because eventually the money makers that are pushing this up will probably remove their position for obvious reasons. So for me, we need a pullback. And then once the pullback has been delivered and the candle has closed, remember that, and it is a good bullish momentum forward thinking candle, you then look at potential moves to potential upsides, maybe even $24,000. That could happen. But as well, when we talk about this, they have to close bullish. They have to be good candles. They have to be showing signs of life and demand. I wouldn't just plonk your orders there just hoping that it's going to happen if you are a trader. If you're an investor and you've sold up here and you've got some orders down here, cool. If you then have some extras left over, even better, you've got yourself some money, pay yourself, enjoy your life, right? So that's for me what I'm expecting on Bitcoin. I'm expecting a pullback at some point. It has to happen. Like no market goes up forever, right? There is always pullbacks. Even in the bull cycle, we've seen 20, 30% corrections and then we carried on going, right? It is brutal. That's why people get shaken out. So do not get greedy. Just be wary of that, right? So moving on to the total market cap, I don't want to go too deep. Next week, I'll be doing these as live content as well. So similar sort of time as published, but they will be live where I'll do altcoin analysis. I'll pick a couple, do a bit of analysis. I'll talk about the news, whatever. And I'll also do other stuff, but I'll be able to engage with you guys on the actual video. But the production will be very, very similar. I will have a Steam Deck. It will look pretty cool. I've just tweeted about it. Anywho, this looks the same. Look at the amount of green candles as well. It's a big run to the upside on the daily time frame, and possibly we could be looking at some big levels. We could also be looking at this level here as a pullback. They're obvious with traditional market structure. Their traditional levels are pretty solid in terms of we've been here since June on the 382. We've been here since start of November. That was the FTX crash. All we've done is zipped it back up as liquidity grabs. It may well just be an absolute opportunity to push the market up. But also one thing I have noticed, have you noticed since Sam has got bail, everything's changed in the market. It's very, very interesting to see how Solana, for example, random example, has also done a massive move to the upside. I don't know what that arrows means, but you get the idea. Look, we've had a massive breakout. Are we going to go and retest and pull back and then go even higher potentially? It's very, very interesting how he is trying to raise money to, save his ass basically, and the market's been pushing up. Interesting, right? But for me, the market is nice to see it pushing up to the upside. There's a bit of interest back, but I don't think it'll last forever. I personally think that we have to push back first and pull back this move. Then the proof is in the pudding. Is it bullish or is it just a deviation fake? Sometimes these happen in bear market rallies. At the minute, it's still bearish structure. We are still in a massive formation. We've got hidden bearish divergence all over the gaff. Really, we do. And when they do play out, it will be the pullback. The proof is in the pudding when we push back lower. If we push back nicely and we get demand and people follow through into that, we go higher, we make more money, it's going to be good. Bearish situation is if there's no follow through, we go right back to the lows and we're in Goblin Town. So there we go. If you like my stuff, leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with a dividend update. First one of the series.